Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 6 of The Narrow Path. It has taken me a couple weeks or more to upload this, mainly because the boot camp section of my life has such a big chain and impact, and every detail, every step of the way had so much meaningful to get me where I am today and change my perspective. So, and I have my daughter here. She's my special guest today. She's sewing next to me quietly. Wanna say hi, honey? um, so it's a lot. I learned a lot about myself in boot camp, and there was a lot of testing that for my faith and physically and mentally and everything that I know about life. Boot camp really opened that view up for me of understanding the world and people around me and just life in general. So that's why it has took me a couple weeks or so to try to narrow it down, because if I put everything in this video, it's probably gonna be an hour more, and that's just a bit too long. So I have come to a point where I'm just gonna put the main point of what I learned and what the military is like for me. First and foremost, I left boot camp 2011 in January 4th of 2011, and it was smack in the middle of the winter. And the night before we landed in Chicago, Illinois, it had been snowing. The day after, it's like ice cold and windy. So for me, for the 8 weeks that I was there at my boot camp, it snowed, it rained, it sleet, it ice, cold. I mean, I'd never been in a cold weather like that before. I mean, Oregon, Portland, and Washington are cold, but nothing prepared me for the cold of Illinois, Chicago. So different. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you about the first couple of days of the military, and that set up the tune of what it was like for the boot camp for us. Now, my boot camp was just a regular military Navy. It's not special forces and any of that special training. It's just a regular Navy. And it was that difficult for me and for a lot of us. And the discipline, the thing that they put us through. And honestly, it's so easy now that I look back compared to some of the training that special force have to go through. So I almost feel like I cheated to make it through. But while we were at boot camp, back then I thought it was so hard. But now that I know more of the military and that they had the different type of training, I felt like my training was piece of cake, was easy. Anyway, so what I learned from the military is, one, humility. Now, I would tell you, there's a lot of things that the military do that will make you feel so uncomfortable, so embarrassed, and everything that you think you know, you don't know, and it just out the window. For example, when we first landed, it was cold, and that environment, you can feel it right away. The authority and the discipline and the strictness of it was serious. It's nothing like the civilian world. You are not allowed to talk unless you're being talked to. You're not allowed to question. You are expected to know right away. The first time they tell you something, you expect to know, you expect to do it and follow. And it's like you're back to kindergarten again. You are to follow instruction. You are to put your hand behind your back. If they tell you to jog, you jog. If they tell you to hop 1 feet, you hop. If they tell you to crawl, you crawl. And that's it. You don't question. And when we got to the training itself, they lined us up and we arrived late at night. We have been traveling all day and we are so exhausted. We are tired. We just want to sleep. And that could not be farther from us. We got there, they line us up, yell at us, scream at us, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And that is the motto, the mantra for the boot camp. You hurry up and you wait. So we hurry to get our uniform. Once we line up to this main building, they told us, take off everything you have on you. Everything, including your undergarment, naked. Yes, naked, y'all, with 40 or 50 or more of other girl. Okay, at least we have separated with the boy. But yes, you're naked with a whole bunch of strangers that you have 2 minutes or less to get changed, and you're not allowed to think, don't have time. Are you embarrassed? Oh, heck yeah, we were embarrassed. But we don't have time to question. All we have is get off our clothes. Whatever is valuable to us, they give us a little package, a Ziploc, put our name and rank, what division we're at, and either they sent, I think they mail it back to the family, but the rest is trash. I remember there's a trash can, huge trash can, and they said, whatever you don't need, throw it in the trash. And that is literally is like what it is like in the military. What you know in the civilian, go straight in the trash. From our clothes to our shoes to what we know, our life, our lifestyle, all in the trash. It's so interesting to look back now to understand what it was. So we threw out everything that we know, and there we had to learn the military language. They speak different. Yes, it's English, but there's a different, huge difference. And the time, you're not allowed to say 8 o'clock. We go on 24 hours. And that was so new for me. I'd never been around that before. People speaking military term, and writing, we have to print. Our handwriting has to be precise in printing. And we print our name on our uniform, and there's a certain way that we have to do it, and it has to be exactly the way that they like it. It must be qualified. And even now, like from 0 and O, I still cross my 0 so that they can tell the difference between a 0 and an O. And there's something about the military, it's still hardcore in me, and that is disciplining my kid. Not in the physical like that. I do like to go for a run still. Anyway, I'm going off track. But humility. It's first, like I said, everything that you know, it's all in the garbage. You learn a new language. You learn a new time. You learn a new way of speaking. You learn to follow order. You're not allowed to question that order. You learn to hurry up, hurry up. There's no such thing as ranks in management while you're in training. Everybody's the same. We all have the same uniform. We all have the same underwear. We all have the same bra. We all have the same shoes. We all have the same haircut, pen, notebooks, everything. There's no difference. And that's what make the military. And I'm thankful for it now. I look back. So it humbled me greatly to learn that I thought thing that I know, I don't know. My world was so small. Once I joined the military, I realized that. And 2, you gotta learn to be uncomfortable to grow. Was it easy to be naked with strangers and doing things with strangers that you don't know? It was not comfortable. It was uncomfortable. We have to learn, we all have to learn about a ship that none of us have been in a big ship before. Or then we have to learn to get along with different personality. Honestly, I like to think that I'm a fierce soul, but I'm not. I'm a soft heart person, and I get scared easily, nervous easily, and I get my feeling hurt easily. And so from my perspective, I have to learn to work with a person that's a lot more gruffer than I am, and I have to learn to be not get offended so easy. Don't get my feeling hurt. it's just life, and that's just people with different personality that I had to learn to get along with. And so yes, learn to be uncomfortable, because change is uncomfortable. And if we don't learn to be uncomfortable, then we won't grow. And that's what I learned being in the military. For 24 hours, we were not allowed to sleep. We were constantly moving. After our PT uniform, we were cutting our hair. They got our hair cut. And then I forgot. I mean, it was so 2011. And it was such a blur because we were constantly moving. We had places that we need to go. We had to sign up for the boots, for the training. We have our regular military gear provided for us. And after that, we had breakfast. And after breakfast, we had to go into this huge building where everybody of the new recruits meet up with different division, different ship. And we all were so sleepy. Remember, we came in at night and we didn't sleep all night. They kept us up purposely for over 24 hours to test us. And when we're sitting there, I'm like sitting here, barely keeping my eye open. I'm starting to see double in my handwriting. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm saying kudos to the RDC that they didn't laugh at us, because if I were one of the training officers, I would have laughed. I mean, we all look so tired. We probably look awfully silly, but all our hair cut, not even straight, you know. Oh my goodness, it was a hoot for us, really. I think of it now. But we were all so tired. All we can hear yell and scream, and we just follow. We're like a herd of sheep, to follow wherever our RDC told us to do. And that was, like I said, that setup, the atmosphere of what a boot camp was going to be like. The first few weeks, it was really hard. We went to bed late, and they wake us up at 2 or 3 or 1, wherever they feel like it, for our PT and run. And then when we do eat, they're right there to look at us, and we have to eat really fast. You know, we have 10 minutes or 5 minutes to eat, and if you don't finish your plate, too bad. You go throw it away and get up. You gotta move. So as the training go, it does get easier because you're used to the routine. Your body is used to that discipline. You get up at 4 or 5, and it doesn't bother you as much anymore. So you just go. So the third thing I learned is not to be offended by every word my RDC yelling and saying to me, because behind those words are them trying to push us through, trying to tough us up so that we can graduate on time and that we don't get left behind or be held back, which it does happen, you know. And that's just part of them. And I learned that as the week go by. I learned to look past the word. And even now in life, I am learned to look past the people's word that they say to me. And I'm trying to learn to look past that and learn what they actually trying to say. Does it mean to me or is it them? And in my case, in my training, it didn't mean anything to them. They're saying it because they're trying to train me. It's just part of their training, and they assigned 100 to other kids. So don't take everything personally. Otherwise, you'll get your feeling hurt every day, every hour. Tough it out, right, darling? I always tell you, tough it out. But yes, that is part of the military training. So the 72 hours tell us exactly what boot camp is like. Training, discipline, be uncomfortable, be embarrassed. Don't be offended by everything that people are telling you. Whatever you think you know, you don't know. And that's exactly what the military was for me and for a lot of us. And I don't really want to get to the detail. I think it's best that I don't, you know, because also I think the military has changed their training a lot. This was 2011. Now, from what I hear, it's a lot different now than it back then. So, but yes, that was our 24 plus hours. We didn't sleep. we were rushed from place to place. We learned that military is very different than civilian life. But at the end, you also know that you are a very close knitted group of people, and they teach you that you gotta have your back, and other people have your back, and you have your shipmate back. And that's the main thing with the military of any branch. You have your shipmate back, and they have your, no matter what. Con ơi, she just poked me with the needles.
Sorry.
Yes. What a goofball. Curious, intrusive thought got better for poking me with the needle. Crazy child. Anyway, those are the lesson I learned. Those are the hard part that I went through the military, the boot camps. And there's a lot more, but like I said, if I keep talking, it would be too long, all the detail. So I just want to tell you the first couple of days of my experience and what I learned from those 2 days from the get-go. And what I had to make my mind was that, okay, right then and there, if I was going to get through the military, get through my training successfully, and be a graduate that passed in a good score, then this is what I must learn to be humble. I must learn to be embarrassed and be uncomfortable to get better. I must learn to not be offended by every word that my RDC are yelling and screaming and telling me, And also, this is the most important thing to me, I believe, is that not about humility, but is that my mind is a lot stronger than my physical. And that's where I really learned that concept, is the basics, the training, the boot camp. Because at the weakest, at the grittiest part, when you're so exhausted, your mind have to be able to be stronger and said, no, it's just your body. You're fine. You're still here. You're still functioning. You're still doing the push-up that I expect you. Your feet is still moving. You're still running. And you're still taking the information that your RDC is telling you. You're still moving. Don't give up. Your mind control all part of your body. And that is what I learned. And that has carried me through all this. And a lot of it, I believe, is that also with everything that God put me through to that stage of my life, is He was prepping me to have that mentality, to learn that lessons, not just get through today, but to actually really learn that I can do anything with the Holy Spirit, with Him guiding me, and feel Him in my head. And that has been my mantra ever since. So thank you for listening to this. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you guys the next video, and you have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye.